Black fatigue is really real.
The world is getting sick of y'all.
Loud, obnoxious group of people.
Black fatigue is real.
I have white fatigue.
Are 50 things that have given me white fatigue.
It's not racism, it's accountability.
Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about fatigue because everybody is tired. You've probably heard the term black fatigue floating around. Now there's also white fatigue, but what do these terms actually mean? We're going to be breaking that down today, but before we start, subscribe.
More and more black people are starting to speak up. They're starting to speak up on the community, and I don't blame us because we tired. See, what a lot of people don't understand is that there's a huge difference between regular black folk and ninjas. Ninjas want to stay in their horrible environments. They have no self-respect and no self-control. They go around unaliving, essaying, stealing, robbing. They don't care about each other. They don't take care of their neighborhoods, and they definitely don't take care of themselves. Smelling like an overwhelming odor of marijuana, and of course they the victim. They still complaining about something that happened 400 years ago, way before their time, way before their parents' time. And then we got regular black folk. We take pride in our community. We are hardworking, ambitious individuals who definitely want to be segregated from all that nonsense. Our demeanor and our appearance speak volume. We understand that there's a time and a place for our behavior. And most of all, we respect one another. We are not victims. So yes, black fatigue is really real.
All right, so as you heard, the real issue here is not race, it's behavior and mindset. A lot of black creators you will hear from today are not fed up with being black or other black people in general. They're simply tired of the chaos, of the entitlement, and the total lack of accountability that's constantly being defended by identity politics. And I'll be honest, I'm not a fan of the term black fatigue or white fatigue. It does sound like you are trying to write off an entire racial group. But if people are noticing patterns within their own communities, obviously you should be allowed to point that out. When black people talk about black fatigue, they're talking about the exhaustion from having to defend dysfunction because that person happens to be the same race. It's about the expectation to excuse lawless, violent, disrespectful behavior in the name of black culture, which again is a term that is thrown around way too loosely. And how many nationalities, cultures, and values exist within the black race alone? Within any race. That's another thing I don't like. French, Polish, Norwegian, they don't all share one culture. Same thing with like Jamaican and Nigerian. That's why I'm not a fan of the white fatigue and black fatigue and also black culture and white culture. There's no one culture for a whole race.
White people attempting to rebrand white rage by co-opting the term black fatigue as though it's a phenomenon they actually experience but only recently found the language to talk about is both dystopianly weird and tragically on brand. The copying, the whitewashing, the centering themselves by playing victim. Term black fatigue has been used by black people for quite a while.
And still is.
Mary Frances Winters wrote a book that came out in 2020 titled Black Fatigue, and it describes the mental, emotional, and physical exhaustion that black people experience because of systemic racism. When white people talk about experiencing black fatigue, they are not talking about a harm that they experience because of black people or anybody else. They are literally telling on their own inability to live in society with black people. And that's not new either. That's a pathology that has existed for hundreds of years, but call it what it is, white rage.
Okay. See, it's a little bit racist, I think, to assume that all black people feel the same way about this issue. You can't even fathom a black person disagreeing with the mainstream narrative, which is that, oh yes, we're all oppressed because of our skin color. Everybody else is at fault. Evil cops, evil white people, blah, 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 blah. Isn't that a bit racist? To assume every black person is gonna think the same way? Especially when you can take a look at this trend and who's talking about it and use your brain and see, oh, it's mostly black people. Let me come up with another argument.
It's not racist, and I know y'all have been told this is racist, but it's not. It's not racist to call black people out for their behavior and what they're doing to society at this moment. I'm tired of y'all too, but everybody, the world is getting sick of y'all and y'all's bullshit.
Black fatigue or ghetto fatigue is a real thing, and no one's staying silent about it any longer. No nationality wants to be involved or bothered by this loud, obnoxious group of people. No one. Not even hard-working black Americans. They have mastered the victim card. Everyone's against them. There's oppression everywhere. And it's always the white man's fault, never their own. And you can call me all the Uncle Toms that you want, but the fact that you're calling me that shows me that I'm saying something with facts. And you wonder why most good black people move out of those communities as soon as they reach success. It's because they want more for themselves. They hate to look at themselves in the mirror because they would have to face the fact that they're causing their own oppression. You also have the Democrat Party to thank for spoon-feeding that behavior, and you still vote blue, no matter who.
Exactly, and people are especially tired of the rich black celebrities who are crying oppression from their Beverly Hills mansions while scolding other black people who may disagree politically, especially, that they're not black enough. The idea that you have to act a certain way or speak a certain way or dress a certain way to actually be black, that is insulting. It's just another form of control. It boxes people in, and you can't scream equality and then shame your own community when someone dares to ask for higher standards.
But America is tired, and people have grown numb to your constant cry of racism. Everyone's a racist who doesn't agree with you. But meanwhile, you can be bigots to everybody else. Black fatigue or ghetto fatigue is real.
Oh, white fatigue.
No. I'm just gonna
Pause. I'm gonna stop you right there. You're not white. You're black. Redheads are black. But then I remember that they were actually excommunicated from the black community.
I'm gonna say it straight like this, bro. All y'all little white people with red hair, y'all ain't welcome over here, bro. Like, on some real y'all ain't black. I don't give a damn. Y'all ain't none of that, bro.
It was short-lived, but let's hear him out.
respond without a comment here to post or a video because I don't really care what they have to say and I'm not going to give them air to breathe on my page. But I have white fatigue. Yeah, I said it. I have white fatigue. I am so fatigued of the history of selfish, greedy white people. White fatigue is a thing, even coming from the white people. I am so fatigued by you. White fatigue. Oh, it's a thing. It's a thing.
Great points. Amazing points.
This is why black fatigue is growing.
I need my money's worth, dog. I need my money's worth. That's very that's very wild, though. Come on. That is very wild, bro.
Do better. This is the prime example for why we don't have nice things in black areas. You come in the store, you open up, you eat in the store. We can't have anything nice because y'all do like this. Prime reason for why Walmart ain't 24 hours anymore. As black people, we find a way to ruin things for everyone else, even other black people. But that's because we don't want to fix the culture. We don't want to fix the problem. We want to sit back and sweep it underneath the rug and say it doesn't exist.
The black people getting on and co-signing the black fatigue to make white people feel better could not be me. Imagine agreeing with white people when they aren't even picking you.
Again, you're the one who is assuming that all of these black creators, they're only talking about these issues because they're chasing the approval of white people. It's impossible for a black person to not follow the script. Now, that said, there are, of course, going to be people who misuse this term black fatigue in bad faith because not everyone throwing it around is interested in taking accountability or growth. Some will just see it as a convenient excuse to express their own prejudice because unfortunately, there are people who judge others solely by the color of their skin, not their actions, and no buzzword should be able to mask that. So if you're using black fatigue or white fatigue or any race fatigue as a blanket excuse to demonize an entire race, then you're not engaging in honest critique. You're just hiding behind a trendy term. And that should be called out as well. But like I said, most of these people who are talking about this are black people. And they're not even out here saying, I hate my race, I hate being black, I hate every other black person. They are simply talking about entitlement fatigue, chaos fatigue, victimhood fatigue.
I too would be annoyed if I were half the age of black women but looked twice as old as them.
And that has to do with this trend how? That's how you know you have no argument. You have to resort to that.
Black fatigue is a thing. Newsflash, white people don't want to live around ratchet black people. And black people don't want to live around ratchet black people. I mean, it's nothing like going to the Walmart on a Sunday morning and then you see the Bonnet Crew walk in. Loud, obnoxious, the kids are everywhere, in every aisle, unattended. And that's anywhere you go. And always the victim of something. Either you stepped on a shoe, you looked at them wrong, you told them good morning. They're never happy, they're never satisfied. And you wonder why normal, good black people move out of the hood as soon as they start getting successful. I was one of those black people that said, man, if I made some money, I'm gonna stay here. I'm gonna buy up this, buy up that. I'm gonna support the community. As soon as I got my money, I got the out of there because they don't know how to appreciate good shit. And my suburban kids don't need to be dealing with that bullshit. crab in a barrel mentality, never take accountability for nothing. So yeah, black fatigue is a thing.
They want to go back to a time when they could be disrespectful and racist to black people without consequence. And to that I say, since they are so fatigued by how black people are moving, I say to my black people, put your foot on the gas. Keep your feet on their necks.
Okay, so she argues because the original meaning referred to black people's exhaustion from systemic racism, that what, we can't listen to these concerns? Terms get challenged, meanings can change over time. Especially when the people that are supposedly represented by this term are speaking up and saying we're not tired of being black, we're tired of the dysfunction being labeled as our culture.
Talk about Shiloh Hendrix, the woman who called a 5-year-old a racial slur. My first impression after watching the video, a little bit of white trash. I have to be honest, the kid was 5. I have worked with 5-year-olds for the last 15 years. Absolutely everything they do is out of pocket.
Okay, so she's talking about Shiloh Hendrix. You guys may know my take on that situation.
Realize why so many people are wanting to defend this. Because black fatigue is real. I think society as a whole is there. We are just so unbelievably fed up with the ghetto ratchet behavior, entitlement, the victimhood, that they want to praise this woman. But what she did is not praiseworthy.
And what it should be called is fatigue, because even black people have fatigue. You understand? The ghetto ratchet bullshit, all the random acts of violence that people want to ignore because it's black on black, which they also want to ignore. It's a lot of degenerate shit going on between both races though, especially with the Carmelo Anthony thing. That was some degenerate punk bullshit. As far as like Shiloh Hendrix, she's trash. I'm sorry, she's trash. If they want to get behind trash, that's on them. But I don't blame them because they just saw a bunch of people who look like me get behind a trash person too.
Right, it was a response to the stabbing, but again, not a fan of donating to and clapping for a woman calling a child the N-word because he acted like one.
Here are 50 things that have given me white fatigue, and the list could go on, but here are just 50. Karens calling the police on black people for just existing, mass shooters being described as troubled young men.
Okay, fair enough, but I think there are Karens from every race. The media also waits quite a while when the criminal is not white. If they don't immediately describe the person, it's very, very likely that person was not white.
Cultural appropriation without any appreciation. White people in locks talking about spirituality.
Are we still pretending only one group borrows from others? Because I've seen plenty of stray blonde wigs worn by black women. If you only want your culture to be appreciated by your own people, you better stop using iPhones or speaking English or eating sushi or doing yoga. All these things that are incredibly popular, regardless of race, because people are allowed to share things from their cultures. As long as you're not mocking it, what is the issue?
All lives matter. I don't see color.
In an ideal world, we wouldn't focus on race every 5 seconds. But today's culture forces it into everything, even things that have nothing to do with race.
White creators becoming famous for watered down versions of black culture, profiting off of black trauma on social media, weaponizing white tears.
I don't even know what this means because a lot of creators profit off of their own trauma and other people's trauma in general. It's not exclusive to one group. A lot of people do that to get clicks.
White savior complexes in real life and movies.
Okay, I get the critique and I agree with her, but think about it though. What do you want? Supportive white people to just shut up and Venmo you money because they took your 1K anti-racist course? Or when they don't do that, when they disagree with that nonsense, you drag them either way. So you can't really win.
White teachers punishing black students for being disruptive.
Well, if the student is being disruptive, they should be punished, regardless of their race. See, context matters. If he didn't do anything wrong, then yeah, that's an issue. But we're just supposed to assume because the teacher is white and the student is black, then he can do no wrong. She is a racist bigot, and every single black student ever is well behaved. Do you not see the issue here?
White people going viral for dances black people made.
A white person did a dance that a black creator did first. I'm glad we have our priorities straight.
White-led DEI training with no actual change.
The DEI modules, that is corporate virtue signaling at its finest. But rich, white, and black liberals love it because they feel powerful while doing nothing, accomplishing absolutely nothing. Except, I'd argue, even more division.
Screaming reverse racism like it's real, appropriating AAVE, using it wrong.
So do you want money every time like a white teen says slay?
Why is it always about race with you? The obsession with controlling black hair.
Controlling black hair? I do not care what you do with your hair.
is not racism. It's accountability. It's one of those to where they are tired. They are fed up to where they have opened their camera and they start confessing the things that agitate them about the Black community. We've allowed this to happen because we do not like being held accountable for some of the ignorance, some of the degeneracy, some of the just plain right foolishness that comes out of our community. We refuse to address it. And when we have people who address it, they are called like judgmental. And so now you have white people entering the chat and said, you know what, we're tired of it. We're tired of being called racist for holding y'all accountable to the ignorant things that's happening. Black people in the comment sections are just like, this is racism, this is this, and this is this. I blame y'all. This is what happens when the Black community cry wolf or cry racism in instances that's not racism, to where now we have a hard time knowing the difference between what is actually racism and what is actually accountability.
So what's the solution? Standards, higher ones for everyone, regardless of race. And since everyone's so fatigued, maybe go take a nap or have a coffee. That's all for today's video, guys. You let me know what you think in the comments below. What do you think about this term? Also remember to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you can see more videos like this. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Someone said recently, why do you say bye so flatly? What am I supposed to do? Bye! Bye. The video's over. I'll see you in the next one. Bye!